Now, you're both from Alaska. This seems like an obvious question to ask. Is she the most popular governor in the world forever because of a reason?
No, it's honestly because the governor before her, Murkowski, was a corrupt slime bag. But, I mean, most politicians in Alaska are corrupt slime bags. So she's really just a populist. I'm saying comparatively. Like, there's no reason to think that she's a good governor because she has a high popularity. Alaskans have very low standards for their politicians.
I think she's just very charming, and people think that she's attractive, and she's just... She doesn't really have any sort of platform. I don't think that Alaska is a very hard state to be the governor of.
At all.
She gives people $3,200 for energy rebate.
I'd vote for her, too.
Yeah, exactly. People love her. She stays out of their business, and that's what people in Alaska want, but that's far from what we need for a vice president.
Do you think that she's going to get a lot of the female vote?
No, not at all. Especially if it was the Hillary voter they were after. I don't think that in any way she would be attractive to the Hillary voter, aside from her chromosome.
I don't think she really has any platforms or really represents anything other than being an attractive woman to back up what John McCain says. I mean, from everything I've heard about her, she doesn't have any platform other than being anti-choice and anti-sex education, which to me is really, really scary.
She's not educated in government or politics or world affairs. I think that if anyone were to elect her, it represents women as being ignorant and ill-prepared for whatever job it was that they were hired to do.
But why do you think people sort of fell in love with her on such a wide scale?
I remember when I first saw her as a candidate for mayor back in Wasilla. She's very attractive, she's very well-spoken, and those are the things that you're immediately drawn in by. She's someone that the general public can relate to. I don't think she's very intelligent. She's just somebody who immediately grabs your attention. But when you start actually listening to what she's saying, it's the scariest thing that she could potentially become the vice president. I mean, it's ludicrous to me.
In the years that she was the mayor of a really small town in Alaska, like, it's not hard to be the mayor of Wasilla. She turned it into the armpit of Alaska. Like, everyone thinks so. I have a cabin there. She ruined it. She ruined the city of Wasilla. Wasilla was a really pretty, it's full of lakes, full of cabins. Like, it's just a small, like, woodsy sort of vibe with a small little city center. She threw in a Walmart with a giant parking lot surrounded by a bunch of cut down forests. And then she decided, hey, let's throw in, like, this sports complex for population zero. Like, there's not enough people in Anchorage to merit a sports complex that size, let alone Wasilla, which is like less than 1% of the population of Anchorage. It's just giant things with giant parking lots in big expanses of wilderness. Like, there's not enough cars in Alaska to fill the parking lots that she leveled trees for. Like, the charm of Wasilla was that you go there to be amongst nature. Like, that's the whole point of Alaska in general. I think if you live in the state, how can you not love it and want to protect it instead of exploit it and sap every bit of money out of it that you can possibly and just leave it like this empty shell? You know what I mean? And then she became the governor of Alaska. It's hilarious to me that despite obvious lack of experience, lack of, like, even the intelligence, because you don't need experience necessarily if you're knowledgeable about what it is you're going to do, but you can't play catch up in the White House, you know? Like, she's been cramming for a test, but she only has the smallest grasp on any of the issues. If you try to go beneath the surface in any way, shape, or form, it's just, you know? My favorite moment with Sarah Palin so far has been on Charlie Gibson with the Bush Doctrine, because you saw the light in Charlie's eyes when he realized, holy crap, this woman doesn't know what it is I'm talking about. This is amazing.
And it's scary, but at the same, like, I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to feel bad for the woman, because she's just so clearly ill-prepared for this, and it's not a task that she can handle. And she's been put into this role that she doesn't fit. She doesn't have the qualifications. She doesn't have the knowledge to be vice president. And she's just kind of standing next to John McCain as a figure rather than as an actual individual with a perspective on what's happening.
If we think about John McCain, not John McCain of the last 2 years, but John McCain of the last 20 years, Sarah Palin is not someone that coincides in any way with the image that he created for himself. I feel like she's being exploited by John McCain. I don't think that he respects her at all. I think if he were to be honest in his heart of hearts, he doesn't think she's prepared to be vice president. He just needed her.